baffled they be, baffled like me, baffled we be. We're adrift out at sea, baffled they be, baffled they be. Sometimes that's me, about the things that I see that I don't want to be. Baffled I be about oil in the tea. Just makes no sense to me, like a dog up a tree. Baffled we be, we all want to be free. Why can't they see that applies to everybody? Baffled they be, baffled like me, baffled like me, baffled we be. We're just adrift out at sea, baffled they be. Why don't they see what's plain to me? Don't buy your maybe. Baffled I be, we kill off the bees, we kill off the trees, we don't listen to their pleas. Baffled they be, baffled like me, baffled we be. We're just adrift out at sea, and we lost the raft paddle. Baffled they be, baffled like me, baffled we be. We're just adrift out at sea, and we lost the raft's paddle, and we lost the raft's paddle.
So many have tried to keep track of your lies, but I find you just exhausting. You can't even keep them straight. It's as if you use them as bait to see who is loyal and or gullible, and there seems to be no difference. You seem to think that you do this to us all forever. When you're challenged, you simply deflect, and your followers won't ever inspect that your care for them all rings hollow. So many have trying to track of your lives, but they find you just exhausting in both your personal life and what you've said to your wives. They all saw where you're at, and they stopped buying your crap. You seem to think that you do this to us all forever. When you're challenged, you attack or deflect, so your followers don't have time to reflect that all your care for them rings hollow. So many have tried keeping track of your lives. We all find you just totally exhausting. So now it's as clear as the day that is at best a single kernel of truth for your loyalist to cling to. You've got half the nation to think that you can lie to us forever. When you're challenged, you just quickly deflect. So slow thinkers cannot have time to reject all the nonsense that you spew that follows your endless chain of lies. So many have tried keeping track of your lives. You'll never be anything but totally exhausting.
Hey now, what's that sound? Everyone quickly hit the ground and then run. Keep your head down until you found a safe place to huddle. Hey now, hear that sound? Hold your head up slowly and look around. Count all the survivors that can be found and take care of each other. Hey now, there's that sound. Maybe it's time to head underground for a while. As the fired rounds pound the ground, shot by those elected who have defected to the other side. Hey now, make a sound. Let everyone know you're still around and willing to pick up the pieces that are left and rebuild our nation for everyone's benefit. Just not those with huge riches and wealth who just sold everyone else out. That we've got to remember. Hey now, what's that sound? Everyone quickly hit the ground running. Keep your head down until you found a safe place to huddle and plan for action and reaction to the sound all around of what's going down. Unfortunately, it's a very sad fact that their egos won't allow them to retract all the nonsense that they've been posting and believing, as that would require that they acknowledge that they've been on the receiving end of a stream of continuous deceptions. And what they've been hearing, seeing, reading, and repeating has been so damn successful in deceiving them for far too long. For way too long. Oh yes, it's a very sad fact that their egos won't allow them to retract the lies that they believe and then post it, along with their Christianity that they've boasted all about for so long and so damn loudly, for all to see that they are simply full of your pop hypocrisy. And what they've been hearing, seeing, reading, and repeating has been so goddamn successful in deceiving
for far too long. For far too long. Yes, this is a sad, sad song. That unfortunately, it's a very sad but true fact that their egos won't allow them to retract all the nonsense that they've been saying and believing as that would require that they acknowledge that they've been on the receiving end of a stream of continuous deceptions that they've embraced, and the hate that they've been hearing, seeing, reading, and repeating has been so damn successful in totally deceiving them for far too long. For way too long. Way to go, Fox. I'm sick of looking at his face, hearing his voice just really still grates. The truth in what he says will never ever meet. Liars gotta lie, and cheaters gotta cheat. He cheated on all his wives and all his girlfriends. If it wasn't for his daddy's fat wallet, he wouldn't ever have a friend. If he ever really did, liars gonna lie, and cheaters gonna cheat. Those who have done some business with him not very happy when paid nickels on the dollar. What looked like an opportunity turned out to be a trap. Liars just tell lies, and cheaters always cheat. Cozy up to him, but just really be aware. Although you might think he does, he doesn't really care. To him, any business partner is just another ruse, because liars gotta lie, and cheaters gotta cheat. It's a damn shame that too many fall for his lies. He promises them the moon and the skies, but to him, you're just another ruse. And this liar's gotta lie, and this cheater's gotta cheat. In the court of the Chaos King, what he says does not mean a thing, as it's never the truth that rings out. And without a doubt, you should always doubt whatever passes his lips to your ears, as that's how he feeds your fears. And what you should fear the most in the court of the Chaos King, where you find some doing their thing, and that thing is to make themselves rich at the expense of all others via bait and switch. They promise change without a glitch when they make their political and religious pitch, and then they'll run everyone else straight into the ditch. In the court of the Chaos King, what he says never means a thing, as it's all smoke and mirrors to stoke you anger by feeding your fears of the others, always the others, the ones Jesus told you to treat as sisters and brothers. And that's what you should fear the most, but that'll only happen if you wake up to the facts. In the court of the Chaos King, what he says never means a thing, as it's all smoke and mirrors to stoke you anger by feeding your fears of the others, always the others, the ones Jesus told you to treat as sisters and brothers. And that's what you should fear the most, but that'll only happen if you wake up to the facts. Before I knew the meaning of the word incongruous, they were speaking out of both sides of their mouth to us, where their deeds and words just didn't line up, and they wanted you to drink from their cup. I look back and see that I've been played, and I thought to myself, what a charade. Were they so blind to think we wouldn't see, or so dumb to think that we would be okay with what they say in spite of what they do? Are they really thinking we play their fool? I see my life and the choices I have made, so I say out loud, what a charade. I started my life floating in a vast sea, wave after wave of hypocrisy. When I was forced to memorize the line after line and know the chapter and verse, that's when I first cursed the The inconsistencies throughout, building my doubt that you really mean what you find you must shout. From the rafters and the mountaintops, your hypocrisy. I see my life and the dues I have paid, so I yell from the rooftops, what a charade. Throw yourself a parade where you can no longer hide in the shade, where we all can finally see your total hypocrisy. Inconsistencies throughout, building my doubt, so I yell from the rooftops, what a charade. Throw yourself a parade where you can no longer hide in the shade, where we all can finally see your total hypocrisy. And I'm pretty sure that it's not just me who sees your hypocrisy, where we all can finally see your total hypocrisy. I'm pretty sure that it's not just me who sees your hypocrisy. Well,
when you got a dog, you gotta have dog water. When you see a need, you gotta do what you oughta. You can't turn your head or bury it in the sand. Sometimes you gotta stand up straight like a man. And when you got a bill, you gotta pay it on time. When you need to stop, you gotta stop on a dime. When you feel an itch, you gotta learn how to scratch it. When you got a rough road, you gotta show some grit. When you're friend, you gotta hear them out. When you feel depressed, you gotta stop your pout. When your job to do, you gotta do your best. When you gotta learn a thing, you gotta ace that test. When you got a dog, you gotta have dog water. When you see a need, you gotta do what you oughta. You can't turn your head or bury it in soft sand. Sometimes you gotta be real quick and be a grown-up woman. When you got chores to do, you gotta do them well. When you need to celebrate, you gotta do your yell. When you make a promise, you gotta do what you say. When you got a challenge, you gotta find some way. When you got some sunshine, you gotta make some hay. When you get bones tired, you gotta call it a day. When you make a big mistake, you gotta turn it around. When you find some money just lying on the ground, you gotta come clean and just say what you found. Oh, when you got a dog, you gotta have dog water. When you see a need, you gotta do what you oughta. You can't turn your head or bury it in the sand. Sometimes you gotta stand up straight like a decent human. When you got a neighbor, you gotta be there for them. For the people at work at times, you gotta be their friend. And even to the stranger, you gotta lend a hand. That's what you've been told to do, of that there ain't no doubt. When you serve somebody else, there's no need to shout. Oh, when you got a dog, you gotta have dog water. When you see a need, you gotta do what you oughter. You can't just turn your head or bury it in the sand. Sometimes you gotta stand up straight like a man, or a woman, or just a damn decent human. Got a dog, you gotta have dog water. When you see a need, you gotta do what you oughter. You can't just turn your head or bury it in the sand. Sometimes you gotta stand up straight like a man, or a woman, or just a damn decent human.
Yes, I'm sometimes ashamed and believe we're to blame when a plane load of bombs drops so indiscriminately on innocent people. Why did they have to die while looking up to the sky, as all their gods went so damn silent? Why are we so goddamn violent and kill those who are in the wrong place at the wrong time? Yeah, I'm often very ashamed of those who I won't name, but you know they're all to blame for all of that indiscriminate killing of men, women, and so many little children. Why did they all have to die from the planes that flew so high in the sky, dropping certain death down on so many by those who have plenty, but just want more and more and more, which leads to war. Of course I am quite ashamed, and I do carry some of the blame for allowing our elected leaders to enable others to fight these dirty wars from afar with my tax dollars. Yeah, I'm so damn ashamed, and I hate it simply nothing? Or will it be something meaningful?
She said do something, so that's what we did. We got too damn tired of keeping our feelings hid and playing nice with those who just are not. You gotta take a stand and then take your shot. She said do something, so that's what we did. We got too damn tired of keeping our feelers hid. We knew that we'd be okay, but it was for others we feared the evil plot. We won't be here for too much longer to see all the damage wrought. She said do something, so that's what we did. We got too damn tired of keeping our anger hid. When you feel called to action, that's what you do. You use your morals and ethics to strengthen you, and you follow through. She said do something, so that's what we both did. We got too damn tired of keeping our feelings hid. And when you get tired of the battle and feel you might just drop, they're counting on you getting tired, but you shouldn't stop. You might need a break for a rest until you're ready to rejoin the quest for social justice for one and all. Once you hear clearly that call, she said do something, so that's what we both did. We got too damn tired of the battle and feel you might just drop. They're counting on you getting tired, but you shouldn't stop. You might need a break for a rest until you're ready to rejoin the quest for social justice for one and all. Once you hear clearly that call, she said do something, so that's what we both did.
She sat across from me, coffee cup in hand, and she asked quite directly, have you any convictions? I had to think for just a moment, as at first I thought I misunderstood. But then I said yes. I spent several nights in jail after trying to do some good. After first a quick trip to the yard, she smiled back at me for a moment with a look that led me to further explain. I was protesting the jailing of my friends, for protesting against Richard Nixon and the war his actions had extended, for which he was later proven to blame. She put her cup down on the table and her finger to her lips before she took the bill up to the cashier to pay. And when she came back, she touched me gently on the hand, and then we left that place together for the promise of the promised land. Later she asked me to explain the whole damn story and how I came to be in the ER before the jail, and then what had happened to my friends and me. I had to gather my thoughts for a moment or two, trying to recall all that I'd forgotten, as it was no longer something I thought much about, as all of it was now just part of me. I recalled the Sunday school lessons and the preachers in their pulpits, and then when it dawned on me, the inconsistencies and the overt hypocrisy of people talking out of both sides of their mouths, wanting to shape who I would be. She waited while I reconstructed the storyline in my head. She must have seen on my face some earnest expression, and considered that perhaps I might even dread reliving the past that's brought me to my present, right up to the here and now. So I took the Wayback Machine for a moment, with my eyes closed, and then opened them when I was ready to share my conviction over my convictions, and the run-up to how I got there. We've been together for 50 years now, as I am jailed within her heart. So that was our start.
He was a bull moose, he was a trust buster, and they said he rode up San Juan Hill. He prioritized conservation and established national parks, numerous forests, and monuments too, to preserve U.S. natural resources. That's what good stewards should do, not like the current crew. He led the reformer of the Republican Party. He served as a governor and the president. On busting up monopolies, he was hell-bent, which was good for the people he served. For all of that, his praise today is well-deserved, for that's what good stewards should do, not like the current crew. His square deal policies called for fairness for all, regulating railroads and breaking up monopolies, and ensuring pure and safe drugs and food. He was a bull moose for the people, and it made him certain enemies in certain quarters, because that's what good leaders do, not like the current crew. The current crew has reversed all that Teddy did, selling out almost our national treasures, and selling out the people as if they didn't matter, selling out the majority of Americans to
benefit the very few. That's not what good leaders do. Not like this current crew. We need leaders looking out for all, not selling them out to the few, making deals that are fair and square, getting back to a square deal for all, making us a beacon, the shining light of how to use for good all our might, because that's what good leaders do. Not like this current crew, serving the very few. Okay, he wasn't perfect, so damn few people are. But let's not make perfection the enemy of the good. Let's just all try to do much better. And by that, I mean better for one and all.
It seems quite delusional to believe that the ultra-rich will have everyone's best interest at heart, and not just themselves. And they will do what they do to greatly benefit themselves. They'll run everyone else into some ditch, and then they'll want to charge you double for pulling you out. It seems quite delusional to believe that all the rich would have everyone's best interest at heart, and not be in it for just themselves. And they will do what they do, and not be too concerned with you, except how they'll use you in the schemes as they destroy your dreams, and your dreams for your children. It seems so very delusional to believe that the ultra-rich will have your best interest at heart, and not be just for themselves. That's quite delusional, so very delusional. It seems so very delusional to believe that the ultra-rich will have your best interest at heart, and not be just for themselves. Don't be so delusional, and that's not refutable. It seems quite delusional to believe that the ultra-rich will have your best interest at heart, and not be just for themselves. Don't be so delusional, and that's not refutable. So exactly where is this genius that we keep hearing about? He's busy wrecking the stock market and the country's democracy, as his followers cheer and
and shout, for that's what they've always wanted. But just as long as it hurts others and not themselves. So exactly where is his genius that he kept shouting about? Is it gone on a long vacation? Or maybe it just never really existed? Of that I don't have any doubt, that it was all smoke and mirrors. And it worked for the rubes and those who saw some way to take advantage, while everyone's so confused as his followers cheered and shouted, for that's what they've always wanted. Just as long as it hurts the others, and definitely not themselves. So exactly where is the stable genius that he and others so boldly toot? You can see the craziness in his policies as they crazily zig and zag about. Yet his followers still cheer him on and shout, for that's what they've always wanted. To really hurt all the others that their savoir commanded them to care for. Where's the genius in that?
Stand up and look around. Look really hard at what's going down. What's going down is our democracy, and maybe your last chance to all remain free. Stand up and look around. Look really hard at people's frowns. They bought the lies that they were told. Some knew better, but those lies took hold. You should not make perfect the enemy of what is good. We should have been much better, as we really should. Would and could. Never perfect or exceptional, except when compared to them all. Stand up and look around. Look really hard at what just went down. Our nation and its history, deserved or not, gone now is its credibility. Stand up and look around. Look really hard at what's happening now. It really worries me that you seem proud. You surely got your head as some cloud. You should not make perfect the enemy of what is good. We should have been much better, as we really should. Would and could. We were never perfect or exceptional, except when compared to them all. Stand up and look around. Look really
hard at what's coming next. If you see a need to turn it all around, it soon might be your very last chance. Look really hard for a change.
You just shouldn't listen to or watch the news today. You'll be so disheartened by what they all have to say. It's just complete insane madness every day. It just all brings me to tears of sadness. If you read all the online posts, you think that reason has become a ghost. So you look for what might bring you some gladness, in the hopes of avoiding your own tears of sad sadness. There's just too many these days without a clue of what these drastic policies will do to them too. Oh, what become of us? It's a goddamn mess, and it just brings us all a constant flow of tears of sadness. Is there hope that this can be turned around? Can we be saved from the actions of this clown? Let me simply confess, I'm beginning to doubt it, and that itself brings me to damn many tears of sadness. Oh, what a goddamn mess. So let me simply confess, I'm beginning to doubt our recovery, and that just brings me so many tears of sadness. Oh, what madness. Is there hope that this can be turned around? Can we be saved from the actions of this clown and this clown? Let me simply confess, I'm beginning to doubt our recovery, and that just brings me so many tears of sadness. What madness.
Some say we should never say, we told you so. But what would you have us do? Leave them without a clue, and keep them the fool about what he'll likely do. There are those who will never be woke, awaken to what's really going on, and that's not a joke. And how it's quite a contradiction from what we were all likely taught and bought about our democracy, and also what Jesus taught. Some say we should never say, we told you so, and just leave them in their delusions without any clue or conclusions and let them stay the fool about what they'll really do to me and you. It's me and you on the other side. For we weren't born into riches and cannot hide from the poverty or the draft to fight their wars, as their greed drives them to want more and more. Oh, they'll preach quite loudly the holy words, but that they'll then in secret completely ignore. But we'll see them if we take a look, unless we shield our eyes from their apparent lies. Some say we should never ever say, "We told you so." But what would you have us do? Leave them without a clue and keep them acting like the fool about what he'll do to me and you? Because unless you have quite the stash of cash that they'll likely soon take from you too. Sorry, but we did tell you. Sorry, but we did tell you. Some say we should never ever say, "We told you so." But what would you have us do? Leave them without a clue and keep them acting like the fool about what he'll do to me and you? Because unless you have quite the stash of cash that they'll likely soon take from you too. Sorry, but we did tell you. Clueless are the foolish cheering for that clown. If they'd paid attention, they would have known the plan was to bring the federal government down, so all the rich could avoid paying taxes to the man. Now the middle class will bear that burden and will soon enough be joining the poor. Clueless are the foolish that are still cheering for that clown. Now you are spouting Russian talking points based on their own one-sided research, were they memorizing those alternative facts? But that didn't make you any smarter than the rocks along the road's gutter as you run us all into the ditch on behalf of the rich. Clueless is the fool that cheers for that orange clown. You brag about your research, which is funny news, as you end up repeating all of Vladimir Putin's views. You don't seem to see, as the rest of us can see, Putin's hand up your skirt for you or just his puppet now. Oh, the internet will never forget your recent treason, and someday you'll answer for this season of treachery to our country. Now you are spouting Russian talking points based on their own one-sided research, where they memorizing those alternative facts, but that didn't make you any smarter than the rocks along the road's gutter as you run us all into the ditch. On behalf of the rich, clueless is the fool that cheers for that orange clown. Someday someone will remember what you did, bring you completely down. Someday someone will remember what you did and bring you completely down.
I see all your messages of late, and I hear your words promoting hate. And I don't think that that's just fine, or that that's just so damn dandy. Your message of hate doesn't work for me. You're handing out sweet but rotten candy, 'cause that's your only modus operandi. And now you intend to hurt others and me, as well as all of humanity. Lower than you and yours on some financial totem pole, as if that's the only measure of a person's worth. That's just not fine and dandy with me. But I don't think you'll ever see it. On Sunday mornings you are so damn devout, but stuck in the parking lot behind some old lady, you'll shout and curse her for not being quick enough to avoid your impatience and vulgarity on display. That's what you've taught your children, and I don't think that that's just fine, or that that's just fine, or that that's just so damn dandy. Your message of hate doesn't work for me. You're handing out sweet but rotten candy, with your continuous, consistent hypocrisy. And someday you'll probably wonder why your children have turned away from everything you've said or will say. And I don't think that that's just fine, or that that's just so damn dandy. Your message of hate doesn't work for me. You're handing out sweet but rotten candy, with your continuous, consistent hypocrisy. And someday you'll probably wonder why your children turned away from everything you said or will say. And I don't think that that's just fine, or that that's just so damn dandy. Your message of hate doesn't work for me. You're handing out sweet but rotten candy, and I don't think you'll ever see it. No, you'll never see it. You'll stay willfully blind.
Fox News isn't news at all, and never has been and never will be. It's simply propaganda by the wealthy aimed at the poor, weaponized to increase their anger and hate in order to distract them and those who buy it from all of the actions to steal all the rest of us blind. So take care about your sources, as they can lead you off course and astray each and every day with their nonsense and lies. And although they paid a huge price for all of their deceptions, there's so much more money at stake that they see it as wise investments to continue the lies unabated. It's a deep foxhole they've got, where they throw down the truth to become rotten, rotten. And if you've joined up with this lot, you have conveniently forgotten the lessons of your faith, and so you can again never be trusted. And your credibility is so completely busted, and deservedly so. We've got your number, and it's a 0. You're no hero to anybody, except maybe who might find what you say is the truth, because they too are blind and of like mind, and all have their heads in the foxhole of continuous lies and deceptions without exception. For it gives them an excuse to ignore what they were taught every Sunday for all of their lives. But what they were taught is all for naught, given the success of the so-called Fox News organization and its negative impact on our nation, dividing and distracting us further, so their benefactors can plunder the wealth of our nation and its very soul. Get a clue? Stay off the Fox channel, won't you? It seems so long ago now, back in the day, when so many knew so much better. But then they got older, greedier, needier, and swung way to the right, way out of sight, way off of their prior path. An entire generation was raised by watching TV of endless violent cartoons, westerns, and wars. Then a decade later, questioned the Vietnam War and all the fighting and dying, and what was it for? And none of the reasons given seem reasonable at all. Marvin Gaye sang "Mercy, Mercy Me," all about the ecology and what's going on way back in 1971. How far have we wandered off the former path, and will we ever get back to it at last, or will it be lost forever and ever again? Keeps a turning, the world keeps on a burning, and history repeats itself as if it's trying to warn us of what disaster might someday befall us. It calls us, but we're too damn busy to Pay attention, see and say,
To the warning about what's coming around the corner and headed our way. It seems so long ago now, back in the day, when so many knew so much better. But then they got older, greedier, needier, and swung way to the right, way out of sight, way off of their prior path. So from the light into the darkness we speed. Somehow our care about humanity has simply turned to greed. We need to find the former path and then get back to what we once aspired to be there for each other. So from
It's all in the comeback and how you pick yourself back up. It's when you work really hard and you really start to thrive. But then something happens, now you're in a steep nosedive. But you keep on working 'cause that's what it takes to survive. That's what it'll take to finally thrive. But first you gotta survive, just to simply stay alive. It's all in the comeback and how you pick yourself back up when you're thrown off the horse. It's how you dust yourself off. Will you make us all proud? Are you hard or are you soft? It's all in the comeback and how you pick yourself back up after your second tire goes flat and you're still hitless at your third time at bat. There's a witch's brew a-brewing and you've got to get a move on. You gotta get a hit, but you keep on working 'cause that's what it takes to survive. That's what it'll take to finally thrive. But first you gotta survive, just to simply stay alive. It's all in the comeback and how you pick yourself back up after losing that promotion, after dropping too many balls. You find it's not your calling, what you find yourself doing, but you keep on working 'cause that's what it takes to survive. That's what it'll take to finally thrive. But first you gotta survive, just to stay alive, just to stay alive.
There's a madman waiting in the wings, and it's a song of democracy's death that he sings. He's joined by a large and powerful choir of the way too many who embrace the known liar. There's mongrel dogs to teach, but they're so damn hard to reach. Over their
the noise that they read preach. Don't read that book, don't hear that speech. There's lots to do, given the mongrel dogs to teach. Sharks on the beach, don't drink the bleach. There's lots to do about the mongrel dogs to teach. There's mongrel dogs to teach, but they're so damn hard to reach. Over their yelling media screech, over the noise that they re-preach. Can't catch the wind, can't glide in peace. There's lots to do about the mongrel dogs to teach. Ooh, your words are mean, your hate is seen. There's lots to do about the mongrel dogs to teach. There's mongrel dogs to teach, but they're so damn hard to reach. Over their yelling media screech, over the nonsense that they re-preach. You got me all worried now with your refusal to see and think. There's lots to do about all you mongrel dogs to teach. There's mongrel dogs to teach, but they're so hard to reach. Over their yelling media screech, over the crap that they re-preach.
When your sources are all liars who have paid for their lack of truth, which you don't seem to want to see, because you can fool yourself, but you can't fool me. You repeat their lies endlessly, even their contradictions. Why does it have to be that you will continue to fool yourself, but you won't fool me? They crush the truth for all they're worth. They'll go so far to burn the earth, yet you're still in denial. It's plain to see you continue to fool yourself, but you can't fool me. You're just a pawn in their board game, a foot soldier in the war, on truth to inflict some pain. What has come about is on you and not on me, but we'll both suffer, as you'll still fool yourself, but you won't fool me. Here's looking at you over there, at the pack of red Kennedy, where we should place the blame, who you helped them to fool yourself, but you can't fool me. They crush the truth for all they're worth. They'll go so far to burn the earth, yet you're still in denial. It's plain to see you continue to fool yourself, but you can't fool me.
just a pawn in their board game, a foot soldier in the war, on truth to inflict some pain. What has come about is on you and not on me, but we'll both suffer, 'cause you'll still fool yourself, but you can't fool me. Here's a looking at you over there, at the pack of Red Kennedy, where we should place the blame. Who you help them to fool yourself, but you can't fool. From the left of center enter the Blue Dogs, looking out to protect you against the pack of Red Dogs who would rip your life in two, as they are obviously trying to do. Blue Dogs to the rescue, just in case you've been distracted from what's been happening in the political scene. Your attention is otherwise focused, trying to work as hard as you can, trying to survive in this life. Blue Dogs are looking out for you, Blue Dogs to the rescue. The Red Dogs are looking to change the social order, to put themselves up top. And if we don't all band together, they'll be impossible to stop. Caving into what seems inevitable is something we should never do. Blue Dogs to the rescue. The Blue Dogs are looking out for you. If there ever is a next election, we've all got to show up en masse. For this next election will be gained by those in charge, and we cannot let that pass. This might be the first time you've ever really wanted or had to get involved. Join us, Blue Dogs to the rescue. The Blue Dogs are looking out for you. I'll probably never understand why people voted the way they did, and maybe they really didn't, as the hand is often quicker than the eye, so is artificial intelligence. And the victors showed their belligerence and bragged about what they've done. Join the Blue Dogs running to the rescue. The Blue Dogs are looking out for me and you. Blue Dogs are looking out for me and you. Blue Dogs are looking out for you. Oh, Blue Dogs to the rescue. I just really can't abide your current thinking and your chosen side. The gulf between us is now just way too wide, and your covert and overt racism you no longer hide. The gulf between us is now just too wide, and your ignorance you no longer strive to continue to hide. You've decided that you no longer have to hide those true feelings you think are deep inside. But if you just looked further, you'd see that it has more to do with your insecurities. The gulf between us is now too damn wide, as is your ignorance, which you no longer strive to hide. You are fearful of your inadequacies and afraid that others will so easily see. So you need to take it out on others so much weaker, and that's been your strongest and boldest move forever. The gulf between us is now just too wide, and your ignorance you no longer strive to hide. So I really can't continue to abide the current actions of you and your chosen side. The gulf between us is now just too wide, and your ignorance you no longer strive to hide. So the gulf between us is just too wide, and the ignorance you no longer strive to hide. And I find that I no longer can abide.
He's a master of disaster, and he gets there ever faster when his minions heed his call to wreak disaster on us all. He's assembled quite the team, and we never be the same again, or free as we once had been before he assembled all his friends to do us damage. For they're certainly not here for you or for the benefit of me. They're there to feed their greed, so we won't ever get what we need, and we can't stop it. He's the master of disaster, and he gets there ever faster when his minions heed his call to wreak disaster on us all. But it's not just due to him and his minions with their spin. It all started with the ultra-rich who have swift-boated all of us. And their federal society who packed the courts with glee to start what would soon be an oligarchy. Well, they're not true. That money is free speech. For if that's really true, the bribes are free speech too. And you should easily see where that will finally lead to. He's the masters of disasters, and they'll get us there ever faster when all the real minions heed their call to wreak disaster on us all, on one and all.
He talks tough and plays the suckers for the fools that they truly are. He hasn't told the truth in almost 80 years, yet some still believe him. And you gotta wonder about that and them, and where it all might end. You gotta wonder. He's cheated on every wife that's he's ever had. Now that Jeffrey is gone, his best buddy is named Vlad. He dodged the war and the draft over 5 times, baby, so get a clue. Yet some see him as some sort of patriot, and you gotta wonder about that and them, and where it all might end. You gotta wonder. He cheats at golf on every hole, and he kicks his ball into a better position, and he always makes par regardless in his course. He stole boxes of national secrets and avoided the law, long arm, and congressional oversight. And you gotta wonder about that and them, and where it all might end. You gotta wonder. Gotta wonder about that and them, and all of his surrounding yes men. And then you got to wonder about all of us as well, as we collectively own his fresh hell. And only time will tell how bad it'll get. You gotta wonder about us all, and how we could let this befall our proud nation, ignoring the facts. And then you got to wonder about all of us as well, as we collectively own his fresh hell, where it all might end. I just gotta wonder. You really need to wonder about us all, and if we're gonna fall and be his victims.
They are trying to wear us out by flooding the zone, so we'll all be in doubt about your and my ability to set us all free, as we once all claimed we'd be in our democracy from not so long ago. The resistance will take some persistence, just like the abolitionists of old and the freedom riders from the past, and the folk singers singing songs of protest when they saw right and wrong from not so long ago. The resistance will take our persistence. They are trying to wear you out and trying to change your thinking's route. And what their preachers' preachings aren't the true Bible teachings from not so long ago. The resistance will need your persistence. They are trying to wear you out, and they do that with their shout that the enemy is within, when we should see that it's him, wrapped in our flag with a repeated false message from not so long ago. The resistance will take everyone's persistence, those who've been fighting for a long time, for the promises of our declaration that we'd be a beacon to all our free nation, where the color line does not exist, from not that long ago. The resistance will take some of your and my persistence, as it has for a long time now. As it has for a long time now.
Why tread lightly when there's so much at stake? Why not stomp your feet loudly and make a whole lot of noise, and try to awaken those who are soundly asleep, before the building is on fire and there's little time to wait? Why tread lightly when they call you names but they don't even understand? If their push comes to shove, so be it. You can't be their flunky and let them do their damage as intended, and then look in a mirror. Why tread lightly when you know that the ice below your feet is more than thick enough to carry you wherever you need to go? For how can you just stand back and let the bad times roll over those who cannot get out of the way in time? Why tread lightly? What good could that do? Why not yell from the rooftops and the mountaintops too, and call out the evil that's befallen we needing you? It's a call to action that all others need to hear. Why not stomp your feet loudly, make a whole lot of noise, and try to awaken those who are asleep at the wheel and riding in the back? There's little time to wait and react make some noise.
Thanks to Citizens United and those who bought the Supreme Court, money has flooded our politics and our news media. And so bribery is now free speech. Ain't that just so special for those who can't afford it? Justice is now for sale, so the scales of justice are stacked because bribery is now free speech. All the big money people have paid their dues, and so now they own the government and those who bring us the news, who won't say it out loud that bribery is now free speech. Who could have seen it coming? It's been over 60 years since the end of school segregation, driving the white man's fears. So they went about ensuring that bribery is now free speech. Your ability to comment or take exception has been reserved for the rich, because bribery is now free speech. What the hell comes next? Your ability to comment or take exception has been reserved for the rich, because bribery is now free speech. What the hell comes next? It's all a FUBAR, baby, red, white, and blue. Upon us is the winter of a snafu. We somehow let this happen, me and you, yes, me and you, and the country we once knew. With the deceitful help of those whose need is singularly focused on feeding their greed, with divide and conquer as their playbook. They've played me and you and the country we once knew. I don't know how you missed it. Their words and actions inconsistent. I hope that all somehow saw and knew it did for me, but it didn't you. And the country we once knew. We're both all the same and yet somehow not. And the lessons we once learned we then forgot, and our values and fears tied us in a knot. It's sad for both me and you, and the country we once knew. Will we know it again?
will we know it again? It's all at Food Bar, baby, red, white, and blue. Upon us is the winter of snail food.
Yeah, she's a saint, and I just ain't. If you need to paint me with a broad brush stroke, I've done it badly, and I've done it well. But as you can probably tell, I'm unpredictable. I can keep my cool and not play the fool until I lose it from time to time. Yeah, she's a saint, and I just ain't. I've got damn little restraint when I really need it. I've done it badly, and I've done it well. But as you can probably tell, I'm not reliable. And when she's away for not even a day, I look in the mirror to say that I can change. But it may be damn near impossible, yet I'll try my best until I'm pressed with the mess that I've created. Yeah, she's a saint, and I just ain't. I've got damn little restraint when I really need it. I've done it badly, and I've done it well. But hopefully you can tell that I am trying to change. Yeah, she's a saint, and I just ain't. If you need to paint me with a broad brush, make me hopeful. Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, she's a saint, and I just ain't. If you need to paint me with a broad brush, make me hopeful. Yeah, she's a saint, and I just ain't. If you need to paint me with a broad brush, make me hopeful. I can't take it in my stride when you root for the wrong side. That practice is the opposite of what you preach, and the opposite of what I would teach all of the children. Think of all the children. I can't take it in my stride when I see what you attempt to hide, the ungodly acts of others under a shield of whatabouts. Your dishonesty is not in doubt, and you'll live with that forever.
lie as you tell me what's what and what is not the truth. When your sources you should doubt, they are proven liars. I can't take it in my stride when I see your boastful pride, when the guidance you've been given has been simply tossed aside to fit your political views and your narcissism. I can't take it in my stride when you root for the evil side. I can't take it in my stride when you root for the evil side.